Hello guys and welcome back to another video on my channel. CSGO items and CSGO trading are around since over 7 years. Since then, a lot of things have developed and a lot of things have also changed. Trading sites got big and died, numerous new items and item types were introduced, and the scene also had many scandals, and even Valve itself had to change trading forever with introducing the 7-day trade lock. But through all of these, the trading scene has survived and even has grown a lot since then. Through the big increase of player numbers and also through Chinese players entering the scene and opening a lot of cases and spending a lot of money on CSGO skins, trading got really big, and I think the CSGO trading and the CSGO skin scene is at its peak at the moment. But this peak had another effect with it. Through the rise of popularity of CSGO skins, many skins started to exceed the old limit of the Steam community market. I think many of you can't even remember that, but the Steam market had a price limit of items of $400. That's not really thinkable at the moment because most knives that people have go for way more than $400. But this old limit led to the creation of third-party market sites like OP Skins, but it also brought a lot of people into a problem. How do you price an item when there's no market to see the past sales or how much you sell it for? But this is a long time ago. The Steam community market now supports prices up to $1,800. In some currencies you can pay $2,000 for items. But more importantly, cash markets are way more common than that. And one particular took over everything: Buff. This Chinese marketplace took the scene by storm. It had a low fee of 2.5%. It's not possible on this market for people outside of China to deposit and withdraw money, but people can still sell or buy items there. Over the last years, Buff got so popular that the volume of sales, especially for high tier items, exceeded the one on the Steam market. Even common and low tier items like the Bayonet Safari Mesh, for example, sells 3 times more often on Buff than on the Steam market. And not to talk about items that are over the limit of the Steam market. For example, Dragon Lores only sell on Buff or other third-party marketplaces, but Buff is the biggest one, where even high-tier items sell a lot of times every day. This is a big thing, but it's even a bigger thing when you are looking for a way to price your item. This is the topic of today's video. How do you price your items in 2021? Before we continue, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe to my channel and ring the bell. It helps me out a lot and notifies you when more of my content is coming out. Thanks a lot and enjoy the video. Like in most of my videos, this is just my own opinion and the way I do it. I'm a CSGO trader since 2015, so I think I know a little bit about the thing and the economy behind it, but I personally think that there are multiple ways you can guess the potential price of an item. So if you found another way that works for you, this is totally fine. This is just the way I do it. To find the price of an item, you have to answer the question: at what price could you sell this item in a specific amount of days? Why specific? Because if you say you want to trade this knife in like 1 day, you can say that the expected price for it will be lower than if you say you're willing to wait 10 days before you sell it. So if you price your item, you should take this in consideration. To find the best and most precise price of your item, you should look for past sales or past trades or something where a lot of people say what they price an item. If somebody buys an item, they probably say that the price is alright. So you want to look for a source where you can have a lot of these opinions in one group. The best thing here would be a big market with a big volume like Buff, where you can say, okay, this specific item sold for this price 6 times this day. And if you look at the past sales the last 3 days, you see that the price is also that. There's probably a good chance that you can say, okay, the price of your item is this and that amount. We will split this video in 3 item groups. We will start with the mid and low tier items, so everything under $1,000. High tier liquid items, which are over $1,000. And we'll also look at skins with special item stats, like if they have a really good float, they have a rare pattern, or if they have some rare stickers on it. If you're trying to price a low and mid tier liquid item, so an item that gets sold like at least once a day, I would suggest that you follow these steps to price your item. At first, I would go to Buff and go to the past sales to see at what price my item gets sold in the last 3 days or weeks. You should keep in mind that the price of an item could be inflated because it has a rare float or something. So you should always check the items before you look at the price. You should also keep in mind that there could be buy orders or quick sales. So if an item price is way higher or lower the average you see, it's probably not worth counting. Second, I would go to the listing price on Buff. So see which offers are there at the moment. Because if there are 5 people offering an item for, let's say, $100 and I see that this item only sells like once a day, there's a good chance that the price of the item won't go any higher than $100 in the next few days. For items under $1,000, I also like to take Steam as a reference. The Steam market still has sales of most liquid items there, and it's good to have a second opinion. But please keep in mind that the price difference and the percentage that Buff is cheaper than Steam, because Buff is cash prices and cash prices are always cheaper, it could really vary. You could find an item on Buff which is only 10% cheaper than on Steam, but I can also find an item on Buff which is like 60% cheaper than on Steam. It's rare, but it happens, so you should always take this in consideration. And if you have a good deal, if you're going by Buff prices and Steam prices are terrible, you should always think about if the deal is worth it or not. It's really rare that you find a deal where Buff prices and Steam prices are in your favor, so you should always focus on one and only take the second one, most of the time Steam, as a reference. Third, I would look at the buy order on Buff. Buff has a really big market where people also try to get the items cheaper, so they give up buy orders and wait until somebody tries to sell the items quickly. As it's such a big market, there is nearly for every item is a buy order, and it gives you the bottom of the line where this item will sell for. If you're not sure about the price for some items, you can also compare the buy orders. If the buy order on one side is higher, that's a good sign that this item is more desired or will go for a little bit more. If I'm still not sure about the price of my item, I would also look at the listing on Steam. Same with the listing on Buffs. If the listing on Steam are way lower than the recent sales, it's most likely that the Steam price will be lower too. If I've gone through all of these steps and I'm still not 100% sure of the price of my item or if the trade is worth it, I will try to find external price providers. For example, I will look for other people that are offering these items, how much they are asking for, and I will also go to other markets. I will go to bot trading sites, other cash sites, and so on. I can really recommend you priceempire.com here. It shows you the price of an item on various sites in one place. But also keep in mind that these prices will take a little bit of time to refresh, so you should always double check the prices there. And if you're pricing your items off bot trading sites like CS Money, please keep in mind that these prices are made to make money. So always take these prices with a grain of salt. I personally, if I get an item and I see what it's worth on CS Money, I only look at how much CS Money would pay me for the item, so I have a bottom line of what the item could be worth. Now we go to high tier items. The process here is more likely the same, but it's more focused on Buff because Steam doesn't have that many sales on these high tier items. I would look at Buff, first at the sales, then at the listings, and the last on the buy orders. And if I'm still not sure on the price of my item, I will go to other trade offers or on other markets like we did before. The third would be special items. So if your item has a really good float, a rare pattern, or stickers. Pricing them is always not easy, and pricing these correctly will take a little bit of experience, especially when it comes to stickers, and I can really recommend watching Zippel's video on that topic. But I personally, if I have a rare float for example, I would also go to Buff and look for low float. I will always look at the sales here because all these special items are more rare than normal liquid items, and rare items are really easy to be inflated. Everybody knows that. Filter the Steam market by the most expensive one and they find a really shitty knife because there's just one out there selling at the moment. So always keep that in mind. If only one guy is listing this item or only one is sold, it could be that the price is inflated or higher than it really sell. On Buff, most of the time you can just filter by the float or the pattern. So I would look for comparable sales there. On rare items, you're most likely able to find 1 or 2 sales, so you have a rough estimate there. Like with the other skins before, if you're still not sure about the price, you should go to other market offerings or look at other markets for a price estimate. But also take this with a big grain of salt, because these are often really inflated. Yeah, I think the wraps are pretty good. You can find the links to all the sites I mentioned in this video in the description. I am Neon, and I see you guys in the next one.